Radiohead. Okay.
Damn, that actually worked the first time. Hey guys, what the fuck is up, you guys? My name is AmanDan642, and welcome to another spectacular album review. This time we are reviewing the fourth studio album by, of course, fucking Radiohead again. This album, Kid A, along with the previous album, OK Computer, are known as the band's most popular and best albums. Though their best is debatable, I still think this is their best album besides OK Computer, but when I first listened to it, I wasn't all that fond of it. I thought it was good, but not as good as some of their other records. But as I got older and more mature, I realized that this album is a fucking masterpiece. Prior to this album, Radiohead was more grounded in the alt rock and art rock genres, but Kid A goes completely Dakmo. Experimental, electronic, abstract, with many new influences and genres to this album.
Whoa, band change sound. That means album bad.
Come on. Come on. Eat it. Eat it. Eat the squidward best. Come on. Come on. Come on. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Come on. Come on. Eat it. Come on. Eat it. Yeah. Oh. Eat it. Eat it.
But this is still Radiohead. Even though this album is completely different in terms of sound, you still believe that this is Radiohead. I remember playing a Radiohead song, either off this album or A Moon-Shaped Pool, I don't remember which one, in my mom's car, and she was surprised that it was Radiohead, because the only Radiohead songs she knew were the popular ones, of course. I think Radiohead does an amazing job at still sounding like themselves, but sounding completely different every album. In the OK Computer review, I said how that album shaped my music taste to what it is today. This album made me branch off into many new genres besides the rock and the metal genres that I listened to before. When quarantine started earlier this year, I decided to listen to a shit ton of new music that I've never heard before. Mostly mucore albums, because I just started to learn what the hell mucore was. I knew this album and Radiohead years prior, but listening to this album made me want to seek out more electronic music, ambient music, and IDM music. Speaking of ambient and IDM, it's kind of off topic, but I've really gotten more into Aphex Twin recently. While writing the scripts for these videos, I started listening to his ambient stuff, and now I really like him. I've known him for a while now, but I've really gotten into him recently. And I could tell a lot of his work was definitely inspiration for this album. Most of my favorite albums are rock and metal, but this one is still way up there as well. And my favorite music genre is fucking metal. It's a testament to how good Radiohead is at writing amazing, beautiful songs that they are my favorite band. And an album like this is one of my favorites. You still get that sad, melancholy sound that they were known for from the Bends and OK Computer with a fresh coat of paint. The opener off this album, Everything in Its Right Place, feels so futuristic and otherworldly with the cold and smooth synthesizer along with Tom's falsetto vocals and that weird robot voice. On the title track, you hear these spacey keys with a skittering drum beat underneath, along with the iconic robot voice again. The national anthem is one of my favorites off this album. I love how groovy the bass line is, along with the drum beats that just make you want to bob your fucking head all day. Tom's vocals have a weird effect that sounds pretty cool. The song continuously gets heavier and heavier, with the drums slamming away and a wall of sound coming from the bass, guitars, and the brass instruments, which I typically wouldn't like, but in this song, it sounds great. The album slows down to a screeching halt when it goes into the next song, How to Disappear Completely, which is another one of the phenomenal, depressing, heartbreaking songs by Radiohead. This is a stripped back, acoustic, spacey, very spacey song that I could definitely see fit right in on OK Computer. It is one of the more human sounding songs off the album. This song is incredibly moving for how sad it is. That is one of the strengths that Radiohead has. They are just perfect at making super depressing songs. You can make a whole album length of songs that are just Radiohead's sad ballads, and each one feels unique and different. After that powerful ballad, we get Tree Fingers, which is a nice, beautiful ambient interlude. It's a very nice calm before the storm, I guess. The storm being optimistic, which isn't really an impactful or hard-hitting song, but it's definitely the most rock song off the album. I know I keep saying shit like human, but this song is the most human of the album. The emphasis is on the guitars and not the synths and keyboard. The percussion is more hidden underneath the guitars and vocals, again emphasizing the importance of the guitar. Up until the halfway point when we get a heavier drum-filled chorus before it gets hidden again. Idiotech, my favorite song off the album and one of my favorites by Radiohead. It's a very dark IDM song that depicts this very cold and sinister world. Tom's vocals sound very human compared to the instrumentals of the song. The instrumental being a very repetitive sequence synthesizer and a drum beat. Morning Bell is another more rock song with light guitars and a looming keyboard in the background, and of course the really repetitive drum beat that stays the same throughout the whole song. The album's closer, Motion Picture Soundtrack, is such a bittersweet song. The instrumental feels warm. It feels like a nice goodbye. Instrumentally, listening to the song, at least for me, is very depressing. The instrumental is nice and all, but the lyrics are the depressing part. Tom sings at the end of the track, I will see you in the next life. What that means and what the song means is, well, who knows? The whole album is really up for interpretation. It's very impressive for a band to go from making an album that is widely disregarded and looked down upon, eventually to what many people consider to be one of the greatest albums of all time, and then follow it up with Kid A. It's not an easy task, but Radiohead has managed to completely change up their sound and yet remain the same band and still be widely successful. But Radiohead managed to do it. And this will not be the last time. They have done it with every following album they have made, and still they have not dropped in quality. Except for one album, but we'll get there. This album is a genre-bending, genre-breaking masterpiece. But in my opinion, it doesn't live up to OK Computer, but it is still a masterpiece that is so nice to listen to from front to back. I am going to give Radiohead's Kid a 10 out of 10. This album is a joy to listen to. Not really, it's fucking depressing. But if you don't like electronic music, but you like Radiohead's more rock, guitar-based music, then just fucking listen to this album anyway. Who cares? Shut the fuck up, bitch. When I listened to this album and fully embraced it for the masterpiece that it is, I love this album. And because of it, I discovered my love for IDM music. In my opinion, give something a try before you think you won't like it. I know everyone says that, but even if you don't like a genre, there are most likely at least a few artists within that genre that you genuinely like. I guess you could say this album got me into mulecore, but it was really a multitude of things. This has been Radiohead's Kid A. Fuck you.
Yesterday I woke up sucking on lemon.